Faisal?
Chengyang Xu, I'm from Siemens, and so I'm running the Disruptive Technology Incubator at Berkeley. So by looking at Siemens, we're going through industry, energy, and mobility, and also healthcare. I really begin to think about, after living in Silicon Valley for a year, moving from the East Coast, New York area, that Silicon Valley, as a model for the innovation of the world for the last 30 or 40 years, we can argue about that. What's the next generation of the innovation center, and I think every geopolitical area was looking for the recipe, and that's why I liked what Nubo was talking about, the city OS idea of really bring the network effect to the city level, integrated network city enabled by the city OS. However, I have a question here is, if you think about from a computer, we can argue the OS is actually the biggest innovation of the computer industry. If you take a PC alone, right, the OS was started by a single company, whether it's Digital Research or Microsoft or later Linux, is in the city OS where we have to require multiple parties. There's no single party, whether it's a big company or entrepreneur or government, can really solve that problem. They need a different mindset to really have a different way of collaborating, go beyond your political regions, so that these pockets of cities, a city in US, a city in Silicon Valley, for example, or in Japan or in China, by working together, it creates the future 21st century of the innovation center that shows basically it's far more advantageous than the rest of the world. So the question is, what kind of mindset, new mindset are required? Because the problem fundamental is a bigger scale, and no single party, no matter how big they are, can solve that, should approach that problem. Second is, where should one begin to think about realizing this dream, which I share the same passion, a little bit different manner. I really like the analogy of City OS for the future. I guess I leave it from there.
Yeah, I think I'm not at all in a position to answer your question. However, if you see the kind of, if you're talking about France, the Paris is the center of the France. It's a kind of mainframe idea. And also, but the kind of new city of the 21st century should be more distributed environments. But if you come to Japan, the Tokyo is a kind of mainframe. Everything comes to media center, and everything, finance center, everything in one. But I think beauty of Silicon Valley is a kind of distributed environments. The Menlo Park, for example, and not huge building. But I think therefore, I mean, somebody should create kind of idea of the 20th century, affordable, community business. What kind of infrastructure should it be?
I think the concept of region, getting it right, I have a big trouble with the word region.
Yeah, that's true.
I watch my kids, and my daughter collaborates on her homework with all of her classmates without ever leaving the house, using instant message and video. She actually edits Wikipedia pages, and she's 14. I think this notion of innovation being a region being a physical location, I don't think that's the way things are going to be in the future.
Okay, Jim seems to have a comment to make. Go right ahead.
I'd love to go. Don just said something that I was going to mention. We have had heads of state and senior officials come through Silicon Valley the last, several decades, certainly in the last
Medvedev was just there
3 months. And there is something magical, and I don't know why it is. In Silicon Valley, there are a group of us that will back, whether it's 21-year-olds, 23-year-olds. Recently, we've had Russian entrepreneurs visit us who are 17-year-old. We had a Beijing entrepreneur who was 19 who visited our offices in the last month, all with fundamental visions of what they're doing. And in each of those instances, they simply said they could not find individuals in their home countries that would back them because of their age. And the one element, whether it's the city, whether it's the impact of the social networks and the collaboration, this element of youth, the innovative, whether it's a business model, a new network, an idea around virtualization, there is going to be enormous innovation occurring within college environments, recent graduates, because they get a lot of these collision industries, mobile, social, games, virtual currencies, in ways that even the 25 plus generation may not quite get. And so as part of this ecology of innovation, I would just encourage us, whatever part of the world it is, let's not forget some of the real breakthroughs and the most innovative ideas will be, in many cases, teenagers or certainly students in their 20s.
You have credibility making that argument, Mr. Breyer. I think we've run out of time, unfortunately. Unless there's anybody who has like a desperate desire to say something that they haven't had a chance to say that I didn't see their hand or something. Oh, you do? Do you have a desperate desire? Go right ahead.
The one thing basically is, I don't know if the ecology of innovation is the right term. I think it's the evolution of innovation, because it's what started before and how it's transformed and how it continues to transform. So I don't think it's ecology, I think it's evolution.
Yeah. Well, I think also what you said was a good sort of closing conceptual point, and I happen to agree with you even though I think I named this session. But anyway, thank you all.